We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DT India Live, India's Voice to the World. I'm Lipakshi Khurana coming up in the next 30 minutes. Germany's free market conservatives win election as far-right AfD leaps to second place. Friedrich Merz in pole position to become next chancellor. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu warns Hamas that it is ready to resume fighting as the group refuses further talks unless Israel releases prisoners already agreed upon. Delhi-bound American Airlines flight from New York diverted mid-air to Rome after a security threat is cleared by authorities to depart for Delhi today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate two-day Global Investors Summit in Bhopal. Germany will be the partner country focusing on green energy, education and women empowerment. And in Champions Trophy, Virat Kohli's century headlines India's comprehensive win against Pakistan in Dubai. And on to the details now. Germany's conservatives swept to victory in Sunday's election with their leader Friedrich Merz set to become the next chancellor, followed by the far-right AfD in second place after record gains. Merz is a long-time party rival of ex-chancellor Angela Merkel and has vowed a crackdown on irregular immigration. Merz vowed to help give Europe real independence from the US and questions the longevity of NATO's current form. Merz urged the speedy formation of a new coalition government, warning that as US President Donald Trump is driving rapid and disruptive changes.
Thank you very much for the trust that you place in us and also in me personally. I'm aware of the responsibility and I also understand the magnitude of the task that now lies ahead of us. I face this with the utmost respect and I know that it will not be easy.
Well, the far-right alternative for Germany, AfD, almost doubled its score to over 20%, boosted by fears over immigration and security after a spate of deadly attacks blamed on asylum seekers. But its jubilant leader, Alice Weidel, hailed the historic result and again said her party was ready to govern with the CDU-CSU. Merz has argued that the next government must boldly address the AfD's concerns on migration and also fix the ailing economy, warning that otherwise the far-right might win next time around. And to discuss more about what this means for Germany and for Europe, let's cross to Thomas Sparrow, correspondent with our partners DW in Berlin. Well, Thomas, what do you make of these results in Germany?
There are three main conclusions that we can make at this point. The first one is that Germans voted for change. The three parties that until last year formed the governing coalition didn't get the results they were hoping for. They all reduced their share of the vote compared to 2021, the last time elections were held. In fact, the governing Social Democrats got their historically worst result ever and ended for the first time in third position. The second conclusion is that Germany is shifting to the right. The conservative bloc CDU-CSU, which until now was the main opposition bloc in parliament, won the election. They ended up with fewer votes than what they had actually hoped for, but it still means they're now in pole position to lead the next government. Friedrich Merz, the party leader, will most likely become chancellor. The far-right Alternative for Germany, or AfD, managed their best result so far, nearly doubling what they got in 2021. A third conclusion is that voter turnout at 84% was the highest since Germany's reunification in 1990. Many voters had been undecided until the last minute, according to pre-election surveys, but they showed up in large numbers to vote on Sunday.
All right, and moving on, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Sunday that his country was prepared to resume fighting against Hamas after the Palestinian group accused it of endangering a 5-week-old Gaza truce by suspending prisoner releases. The first phase of the truce, which has largely halted more than 15 months of devastating war in the Gaza Strip, is due to expire in early March, and details of a planned subsequent phase have not been agreed. With tensions again surging over the deal, Israel on Sunday announced an expansion of military operations in West Bank. Israel said on Sunday it was delaying the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners it had planned to free the day before until Hamas met its conditions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that Israel was waiting to deliver the 620 Palestinian prisoners and detainees until the release of the next hostages has been assured and without the humiliating ceremonies. That was a reference to recent handovers by Hamas that UN officials said went against international law because they were not respectful. The White House on Sunday backed Israel's decision to delay releasing the Palestinian prisoners, citing the barbaric treatment of Israeli hostages by Hamas. Both sides have said that they intend to start talks on a second stage, which mediators say aims to agree the return of all remaining hostages and the full withdrawal of Israeli troops. And the 6 hostages freed on Saturday were the last living Israeli captives due to be handed over during the first phase of the ceasefire. The bodies of 4 dead Israeli hostages were to be released next week. Well, the mother of Sheli Shem Tov said that the mission is not yet complete, asking for the release of all hostages from Gaza. Talshoam and Evera Mengistu were released first in southern Gaza's Rafah, followed by Elia Cohen, Omer Shem Tov and Omer Venkat, all seized from the site of the Nova Music Festival in Hamas on October 7, 2023 attack on southern Israel. Well, also, Hamas later handed over a 6th hostage in Gaza City, Hisham al-Sayed, with no public ceremony. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Sunday offered to give up presidency if it means peace in Ukraine. He made these comments at a press conference at an annual forum of top government and military officials in Kyiv. Sunday also marked the completion of 3 years of Russia-Ukraine conflict. Pro-Ukraine rallies were held in Washington and Taipei on 3rd anniversary. TD India's Rahul Upadhyay brings us more.
As the Russia-Ukraine conflict completes 3 years on Sunday, protesters and activists took out rallies to mark the occasion. In Washington, supporters of Ukraine gathered at the Lincoln Memorial to mark 3rd anniversary of the conflict. Many questioned former President Joe Biden's handling of the conflict in Ukraine. While in Taipei, dozens of Ukrainians and activists gathered on Sunday outside the building of Russian Representative Office. Protesters held placards reading, "Stand with us, fight for freedom," and "Ukraine is not merchandise." Amid increasing tensions between Washington and Kiev, talks for peace took a new dimension. Ukrainian President Zelensky said he's willing to give up presidency if it means peace in Ukraine.
If it's about peace in Ukraine and you really want me to leave my position, I'm ready to do that. Secondly, I can exchange it for NATO membership if there is such an opportunity. I will do it immediately without a long conversation about it. I'm focused on Ukraine's security today and not in 20 years. I don't plan to be in power for decades. Therefore, that is my aim and my dream.
Recently, Donald Trump said US aims to recover the billions of dollars in military aid provided to Ukraine. He also wants Ukraine to give the US companies access to minerals.
I'm dealing with President Zelensky. I'm dealing with President Putin. I'm trying to get the money back that or secured because, Europe has given $100 billion. The United States has given $350 billion.
US President Donald Trump's stance on Ukraine also raised concerns among European allies. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said any discussion to end the conflict must involve Ukraine.
Peace only comes through strength. Nobody wants the bloodshed to continue. Nobody, least of all the Ukrainians. But after everything that they have suffered, after everything that they have fought for, there can be no discussion about Ukraine without Ukraine. And the people of Ukraine must have a long-term secure future.
While Russian President Vladimir Putin said his soldiers in Ukraine are defending national interests and vowed unchanged determination to strengthen the country's armed forces, Putin also said Russia will continue to improve the combat capabilities of the army and navy.
We will continue to improve the combat capability of the Army and Navy and their combat readiness as an essential component of Russia's security, a guarantee of its sovereign present and future, and its progressive development.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday Russia launched more than 200 drones in an overnight attack, the largest of the war, as he called for unity among Ukraine allies. Conflict in Ukraine had begun in 2022 after Russia launched attack on Ukraine on February 24th that year. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
Well, European Union buildings across Brussels lit up in the colours of the Ukrainian flag on Sunday evening to mark the 3-year anniversary of the Russian-Ukraine conflict. Since the start of the conflict, the European Union has welcomed millions of Ukrainian refugees on its soil and says its members have provided some 48.5 billion euros in military aid to Ukraine since February 2022. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly called on his allies to honour all their promises to supply Ukraine with weapons. And an American Airlines flight from New York to New Delhi was diverted to Rome due to a security concern. The threat later determined to be non-credible. Law enforcement in Rome inspected and cleared the aircraft to re-depart. The flight was carrying about 200 people on board, departing from John F. Kennedy International Airport bound to Indira Gandhi International Airport in New Delhi. The airline received a bomb threat while flying over Caspian Sea and later landed at Rome's Leonardo da Vinci Airport in Italy. The flight will stay overnight in Rome before continuing to Delhi on Monday. And Pope Francis, battling double pneumonia, remains in a critical condition with initial slight insufficiency in his kidney function, the Vatican said on Sunday, on his 10th day in hospital as Catholics around the world prayed for the 88-year-old's recovery. The Pope, the leader of the worldwide Catholic Church since 2013, was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on February 14th with breathing difficulties. He was initially diagnosed with bronchitis, but this developed into pneumonia in both lungs. Well, the people around the globe are praying for the Pope's recovery, attending masses, lighting candles and holding prayers. In Italy, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, Archbishop of Bologna, led a special prayer for the Pope's speedy recovery. With candles flickering in the quiet of the Basilica, Zuppi implored the Lord for the Pope's health. And let's take a look at now news from around the world. In Spain, thousands of protesters gathered in central Madrid demanding better public education and oppose government cuts, marching with banners reading, "Let's save public education, its privatization is our ruin." Participants voiced strong opposition to policies led by regional president Isabel Díaz Ayuso. Colombia's coastal city of Barranquilla celebrated the eve of its iconic carnival with a lively night. Gokurna parade backed with revelers and dancers. It featured over folkloric groups, dancers and orchestras. The parade also honors the career of their beloved artist Shakira, who is visiting Barranquilla as part of a worldwide tour. Stars of television and film arrived for Hollywood Screen Actors Guild Awards, a key indicator of support for movies heading into the Academy Awards. Nominated SAG actors include Wicked stars Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo and Jonathan Bailey. Timothy Chalamet for his portrayal of Darlene and Carla Sofia Gascon, who stars as a Mexican drug lord. In Brazil, Rio de Janeiro hosted pet owners and their costume dogs to celebrate the annual Locao Street Party on the iconic beach of Copacabana. Pre-carnival festivities kicked off, gathering thousands of pets and their owners dancing to carnival music. The party provided a unique opportunity for pets to join in the city's vibrant carnival festivities. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. First ever conference of women peacekeepers to begin in New Delhi. Over 62 crore pilgrims have taken the holy dip at Prayagraj's Triveni Sangam during the ongoing Mahakumbh 2025.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Kuran. Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate a Global Investors Summit in Madhya Pradesh on Monday. A total of 133 foreign delegates from more than 60 countries will take part in it, besides more than 300 leaders from the Indian industry. Aditya Srivastava reports for more from Bhopal.
The central Indian province of Madhya Pradesh is all set to welcome delegates from all over the world for the biennial Invest Madhya Pradesh Global Investor Summit to be held in the provincial capital of Bhopal. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the two-day summit. The summit will serve as an important platform to establish Madhya Pradesh as a global investment hub and will include events such as departmental summits, specialized sessions on pharma and medical devices, transport and logistics, industry, skill development, tourism and micro, small and medium enterprises, among others. Representatives from over 60 countries, officials from various international organizations, over 300 prominent industry leaders from India and policymakers will participate in the summit. The summit will also include international sessions like Global South Countries Conference, Latin America and Caribbean session and special sessions for key partner countries. State Chief Minister Dr. Mohan Yadav has expressed hope that Bhopal Global Investors Summit 2025 will set a new record.
कल का दिन ऐतिहासिक है। यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री मध्य प्रदेश में पधार रहे हैं। मैं अपनी ओर से मध्य प्रदेश सरकार की ओर से यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री का मध्य प्रदेश की धरती पर हम अभिनंदन करते हैं, स्वागत करते हैं। तैयारियों का आखिरी दौर चल रहा है कि भविष्य में निवेश की एक ऐतिहासिक तारीख में ये 24-25 लिखी जाएगी, जिनके माध्यम से ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट भोपाल में एक नया रिकॉर्ड बनाएगी।
देखिए, पहले दिन माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी समिट का शुभारंभ करेंगे। उसके बाद में हमारे 2 समिट और हैं। एक हमारा सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी के ऊपर आईटी समिट जो है, फिर उसके साथ साथ ही हमारा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के ऊपर समिट है। साथ ही साथ हमारा फार्मास्यूटिकल और स्किल डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर सेशन है उस दिन।
3 major industrial exhibitions will be organized in this Global Investors Summit. The auto show will showcase Madhya Pradesh's capabilities in automobile manufacturing and future mobility solutions. The Textile and Fashion Expo will highlight the state's expertise in both traditional and modern textile manufacturing. The One District, One Product Village will showcase the unique craftsmanship and cultural heritage of the state. Germany is participating in the summit as a partner country. Along with big investors from across the country and the world, unicorns and startups have also been invited to the Global Investor Summit. over 30,000 participants have registered in various categories. The youth of Madhya Pradesh has high expectations from the upcoming summit.
हमारी राजधानी भोपाल में ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट हो रहा है और देश विदेश से लोग आएंगे। यहाँ निवेश की काफ़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है, तो अच्छा लग रहा है।
प्रधानमंत्री अगर आ रहे हैं, जो निवेशक हैं उनमें विश्वास बढ़ेगा कि यहाँ पे अपॉर्चुनिटी है, यहाँ से मतलब उनको मौका मिलेगा कि यहाँ पे और सेटअप लगाएं और उनको फ़ायदा हो।
City of Lakes, Bhopal is now ready for welcoming the guests who are coming from across the world. On this platform, not only Prime Minister will give a vision to the investor, but Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh is also showcasing the new policies of Madhya Pradesh. With camera person Gaurav Nirudkar, Aditya Srivastav, DD India, Bhopal.
Well, the first ever conference for women peacekeepers on the theme Women in Peacekeeping, a Global South Perspective will begin in New Delhi today. The two-day conference is being organized by the Ministry of External Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Defense and the Center for United Nations Peacekeeping. The conference brings together the participation of women peacekeepers from 35 troop contributing countries from the Global South. And the Mahakumbh 2025 in Prayagraj has drawn an overwhelming number of devotees to the sacred Triveni Sangam, the confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and the Saraswati rivers. While also displaying unwavering faith and devotion, over 600 million pilgrims have already taken the holy dip, seeking spiritual purification and blessings. People from across India and the world continue to arrive daily, making the Mahakumbh a global spiritual spectacle. The Mahakumbh 2025 is not just a religious gathering, but a reflection of the rich spiritual heritage and enduring faith of millions. As the sacred waters of the Triveni Sangam witness history, the event continues to inspire devotion, unity and cultural pride. Now to some sports news now. Virat Kohli anchored another chase with an unbeaten 100 as India put one foot in the semi-finals of the Champions Trophy with a 6-wicket victory against Pakistan in Dubai. Kohli made 100 not out as India overwhelmed the 242-run target to register their second successive victory of the tournament. Electing to bat, Pakistan made 241 before being all out, with Saud Shakil and Mohammad Rizwan scoring the bulk of the runs. Player of the match, Kohli also became only the third batter after compatriot Sachin Tendulkar and Sri Lankan Kumar Sangaraka to complete 14,000 runs in ODIs, reaching the mark quicker than them. Kohli also became the most successful Indian fielder to take catches in the 50-over format. He surpassed Mohammad Azharuddin's record of 156 catches. And Shreyas Iyer praised Virat Kohli and bowlers for their decisive roles in the victory against Pakistan in Champions Trophy.
They bowled tremendously, especially in the middle phase where the ball was turning and also helping a bit. As we know, even in the previous game when we played over here, the wicket is a bit slow. It's spinner friendly, of course, and the way they've been bowling consistently over a period of time, I think the amalgamation of all three bowlers mixing up quite with also the experience that they possess, I think that brings a lot of clarity in their bowling. See, I've never thought of Virat struggling for runs. It's just the mindset that he possesses over the years. He's always hungry for runs. And I remember he had come almost an hour before us for the practice session. He played few balls and he was looking from outside. He looked as crisp as he looks all the time.
Well, fans celebrated India's comprehensive victory over Pakistan and Virat Kohli's century in the high-octane clash. Take a look.
We loved it very much.
Best match.
Brilliant game. I mean, we saw the 14,000 run century and then a victory. Perfect result.
So excited to see India win today.
I'm really happy to see India win. It couldn't be better. Kohli winning 100. We won by 6 wickets. We're through. The chances are high that we will qualify towards semi-finals.
It was amazing. Kohli rocks. Bharat Mata ki jai.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.